Hey, welcome back to the Gemini channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to do a general message for Gemini. Know that energy is fluid, roles could be reversed. Interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also know on this channel and all my channels, I like to dive deep within the reading. So I do look at everything, but we take more time to look at the spiritual blocks of shadows, see how they play out as karmic themes. So it'll help you understand why your person's doing what they're doing, right? That's very important when we're dealing with someone that is all spiritually blocked, that someone that gets triggered easy, someone that triggers us. We want to know what the spiritual significance of the connection is. Otherwise, if we look at it through a physical perspective, meaning like we're just trying to analyze what they're showing us and what they're doing, a lot of times we're wrong. We're perceiving things wrong because we're not perceiving it whatever's happening through that person, like that person's consciousness. We may be looking at it through ours, which is what we feel and what we want. So these karmic connections are really confusing because soulmate twin flame feels a lot like past life karmic mate. So again, understanding that soulmate twin flame person is ready to step up into the divine counterpart that they're supposed to be, opposed to a karmic that doesn't want to evolve at all, that they're good with just, you know, uh, operating from a very manipulative standpoint, a very selfish standpoint, which is manipulative because no one volunteers to be in a connection with someone that's selfish, right? So they do it in a manipulative way. So it's really important before you invest in a person to really know who you're dealing with, because one really does have the potential to like ruin your life. All right. Now, the readings obviously have a therapy style to them because you just wouldn't get to all the spiritual blocks through the cards. So it's a combination between channel and cards. Now, if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me, you need to like the video, subscribe to the channel, write the word of the video in your comment bar. The word of the video is always on the first card that I pull out. It's the underlining energy that tells us why everyone's doing what they're doing. If you forget the word of the video, it will always be in the description box along with the directions, which is like the video, subscribe to the channel, write the word in your comment bar. If I write the word winner underneath your comment, then you need to reach out to me through email. All readings that I give away are done live. I believe in spiritual law, what's best for everyone. So without that, I also wanted to say, before I was going to let you go, but I'm like, wait a minute. I also want to share that my coaching program is open. So if you're someone that's looking for shadow healing, but also looking for life coaching and what your soul's path is and how to develop your psychic gifts, well, you definitely want to check out my coaching program. That link is in the description box. Website link is also in the description box. All right. The word of the video is release attentive repressed nature. And that's again where I feel like you both, you and your person, like don't want to be with each other, but want to be with each other. And I say it like that because the first initial feeling for you is I don't want to be with this person. But the more time that goes by, there's a sense of, but I do want to be with this person. Like I just want this person to come back and do the right thing. And I feel like your person, like, I don't care. It's like I can let this go. And then a few days go by again, and then they're like, but I really don't want it. And what if this really could work out? So you're both holding on to like energy that is a cognitive dissonance. You want it, but you don't. So what happens is that nothing happens. So this person thinks a lot about coming back, but I feel like they're insecure and they don't want to come back because they don't really know whether or not things can change. They don't know if the spiritual connection really is anything because they're not a spiritual person. And they just think if you're going to make them rise, you're going to make them work. you're going to make them do for you. And they know that. It's like that you hold to a certain standard. So does this person really want to do that? It's like, I feel like they haven't had good relationships. So that's why they really hold on to like that cognitive dissonance of I don't want it. It's like it's mainly because again, they're basing their life on past experiences where you like it's too difficult with this person. It's not that I don't love this person, but they get in their own way. They don't give me enough on an emotional level. They don't give enough. I don't like the way that they handle me. I don't like the way that they love me. However, I love this person. And that's, again, a lot of times what a karmic mate is. It feels like a soulmate, but it's also a karmic mate. And we know that because, like I said, if the person's not willing to compromise, it's like, then what it is. And I feel like that's the problem. You want this person to like compromise, they have to budge a little bit. But when you're dealing with them, when you're dealing with them, well, let's see. It's like they're unable that like they're always tangled up in like in karma, in like drama, because it's like they were unable to free themselves from a sticky situation, and so they were tangled up in an old situation. So they came in broken. So they never gave enough to begin with. And then when they got out of it, they were grieving. Again, never got over again that breakup. And so I feel like you just took the time to be like, well, I'm not getting anything. So you left. And I think that this person thought that you were going to be there through their hard time. And they wanted to make you feel guilty. But you're like, I'm not going to be there for you to sit there and cry about somebody else while you don't give me anything. It's like you want me to be in your life, but you don't want to do anything. And you want to hide behind the fact that you're still recovering from your pet previous relationship. It's like, so instead you act like I'm a conquest. That's what it feels like because you're not giving me a commitment, but you're not offering anything. And you're using the excuse of what you've gone through and what you still are going through. So you act childish. It's again either your way or the highway, not looking at them. And so I feel like this person also like never apologized for the way that they were treating you. I feel like you tried to tell this person and they, just held on. They felt like you were holding on to the fact of that they weren't giving you. It got to be a power struggle where really this person should have asked you for forgiveness and said, hey, listen, like, I'm sorry that I have to like, I thought that I was over this. I need to like go through my process. And part of the process is, setting stern boundaries with their previous person, because I feel as if there was part of them that relationship was over, but they still weren't letting it go. And so, again, having one foot in, one foot out, regardless of the problem, doesn't matter. Meaning, like, whether it's a new person or they just want their freedom or it's the previous person, it doesn't matter. If it's new, previous, whatever, it's that this person like is like in denial about your needs, and it's because they were insecure. So they were only considering about their needs, and it was making you angry because you felt like this person was deliberately just being reckless with, with your feelings, your emotions, like not paying attention and then doing what they wanted to do because no one really needs to cater to a karmic, or if the relationship is over, it should be over. Like, why are you still holding on? There should be like clear, defined boundaries where I don't feel like this person had that. I feel like you confronted them, and when you confronted them, they create trouble and then become the victim. when no one is constraining them, they're constraining you by really acting like aloof because they want to be like overly catering to like a karmic, or they're just their own needs. Even if they're out of it, they're still holding on to it, so they might as well still be with that person because they're still consumed, creating more of an illusion with you as well as the karmic, like saying that they've gotten on. They haven't gotten on. They're still holding space. They're still upset. They're still making you wait. They're pretending that they're upset. I don't really feel like they're as upset. I feel like this person's lazy. They don't really want to do it. It's like, again, pretended that, what did I say? Pretended that their situation wasn't ending. That's really what it was. It's like they were still grieving about it, talking about it, where you felt like that's what it is that your situation's ending. You're not accepting about it ending. So, in that, you're not giving me anything. Telling me that it's really over is the fact that you would be investing more in me, and that's what this person wouldn't do. Again, they'd say that they were all tangled up, but they weren't. They were keeping themselves tangled up in that mess. And it's because they never went through their entire process. Meaning, when you get a divorce or a separation, just because you end it doesn't mean that your feelings for the person leaves 100%. You may be resentful and angry, but underneath that resentment and anger was love at one point. The relationship, just over time, there was disrespect, there was other problems, usually, which is what causes intimacy issues, is disrespect, not showing up emotionally, not acting like a partner, wanting to be free. So again, like thinking that their life they can make it still look as if their situation is still going to work out. And that's because that they've invested a lot in that previous person, but that relationship is over, and it's not fair because there's part of them that's like, well, I want to hold on to you and I don't want you to move forward. Well, I'm going to try and figure out and go through my process, heal my process, which is why you were like, no, you treated me like I was a conquest. You treated me like everyone else because you were still holding space for someone that your situation is over. Yeah, you're the one that's holding on to it. You don't want to change your situation because you don't want to change the appearance. You're lazy, whatever the reason. It's that in it, you're not giving me what how you that you're not giving me anything. You're not treating me the way that you should. I wish we could go back and start things over again. This is what this person feels. I have things to deal with before I can love again. And yeah, and that's what I'm saying. This person needs to like figure it out. They needed to go through their process. I can't change who I am to be who you need, because this person feels like they haven't fully dealt with this situation. And there's a part of you that's like, you're ignoring me. So what we see here is more about what this person believes. I'm sad that we just aren't meant for each other. This is what this person feels like, because they're saying like, you want me to change. There's a part of this person that doesn't want to change. They're pretending their situation isn't over. Even if it's over, it's like as long as they're in that frame of mind, they can't give you. They wanted for you to sit there. They wanted you to like nurse them back, mommy them, daddy them. They wanted you to coddle them because, hey, they're going through a rough time, but they weren't planning on giving you anything. The moment that you said something was the moment that this person started to manipulate and create problems. So again, because there's a part of them that says, I'm sure I could possibly get back together with that karmic. I'm like, they're not letting it go. And if we don't let it go fully, it's because on some level they again think that, hey, we've been back and forth for a long time. And being back and forth for a long time, I don't really want to move out. I don't really want to do everything that I do, only to have to move back in. I know we're gonna work it out, but the karmic, I think like that, like their relationship is over. and has been over. It's that, and so this person's a little delusional. Like I said, look what I pulled. I know in my heart we'll be together again someday. So again, that's what this person thinks. They think that not with you, but with the karma. And I knew it. It's like this person is like, I don't really want to put that much effort in because I think that I'm going to be with the karmic again. So to move everything out, to do everything, it's so much work. This person wanted to be cuddled. That's what they wanted. They wanted to be like, well, I'm going through a really rough time right now because I'm going through a divorce or a breakup, or I have already gone through that divorce or breakup already, but I'm going to act like I didn't by, you know, hanging around that previous person, maybe helping out. It's again finding a place again in their life in hopes that they won't stay on the back burner, that they'll eventually, they can rekindle something because their relationship has been on and off, on and off, on and off. This person just couldn't deal with the fact of, being in a relationship with somebody, like they can't be like, they can't just be friends with this person, and they know that the karmic is not going to let them back in. But I have a feeling the karmic will be friends with them, like because there's a lot of uncertainty when a relationship has been for a certain amount of time. So your thing is, I need you to shut the door on that previous relationship in order to be with me. Even if you're out of that connection, you're still holding on to it, pretending that it's not over for good. So you're like, why do I want to invest in that? And nobody would want to invest in that at all. But this person is, in a place where they're victimized. Their part of them wanted to create the illusion that, I'm fine, I've moved on. That's why, again, having you there, you're someone that's attractive, your life looks good, you make them look good, where they're gonna sit there and they'll be the martyr for that previous person because the previous person doesn't want them anymore. So they can be the fixer and they can be the doer and they sit there on the back burner and do everything while you're going to feel rejected, really. And if this person keeps himself in a place of disempowerment because they feel inadequate, because none of their relationships work out. So there's a sense of fear of change, again, of actually leaving that situation so they stay in balance because it's what I said, they're lazy and it's due to their past trauma. And this person does addiction. So if you want to know how can they possibly stay in a connection that is over and pretend that it's not over? Because again, they're addictions and because they're lazy. It's again that when they're not drinking, they're stressed out. Then there's a part of this person that feels like I can manipulate them, even though the connection is empty. At one time, it was very sexual. So this person thinks, that they can win you over, win this person over rather, because they're getting a lot of anxiety. So there's a part of them that doesn't really want to move away from the karmic because they're know that the karmic wants to obviously date and move on. And so again, they're staying right on that back burner again to make to because they're jealous, but meanwhile they would stay connected to you and not really give you enough and in hopes that you would act jealous so that would make them appear like more desirable for that karmic. So this person needs a lot of healing. They need a lot of inner child healing. It's like they inherit a lot of family karma, and again they create a lot of facades. It's again their self-image is being ruined now. There's a part of this person that, like I said, doesn't really want to change their life, but they have no choice. So the fact that they can't look at themselves as a success anymore, but really they're looking at all the lack. And you might say, well, where do I fit in? Well, you were a past life karmic mate. So it's not like this person didn't have any feelings for you. It's just that they couldn't give you because they were still actually holding on to somebody else. So the relationship would be like, again, mainly off because as long as you weren't giving in, this person was coming in, they were coming out, and it got to be like almost like a competition and a competition where you're like, I don't trust you because I see all you want is sex. That's really all that you want. And you're not going to keep my vibration low because I'm not going to conform to you, because I don't really know who you are. Now, I don't think that you thought that they were still connected to somebody else, like in a romantic way, because the karmic wasn't giving them anything, but it's their old habits that go along with that. And again, knowing that they're not treating you well, you tried to tell them, and instead of them asking for forgiveness, they were heavy with you. So meanwhile, the person that tossed them to the curb, that isn't nice to them, that they're gonna do more for that person, but then for you, someone that's there, they're not gonna do anything. And part of that is because they don't really have enough money, or they lost a lot of money. So, and they feel like they have burdens and they don't really want to have burdens. Part of that is just due to the fact that I'm calling them a karmic, but I don't really feel like they're a karmic. I just feel like they get tired of the connection and, they ended it. And I think that this person, is in victim hood, that like that mentality, but they didn't give that person a lot. It's like, yeah, they were overachiever. They made a lot of money in work, but they, have a lot of family patterns. And I feel like part of those family patterns is not showing up, and, where the karmic just got tired of this person being the way that they are. And so really this karmic is the one that wears the pants in the family. That's what it seems like. And then this person's going to treat you as if they're the authority. So it's almost like someone berates them and intimidates them because they're not letting them in. And they're still going to, sit there and pine away. And then for you, they're going to treat you like they can come in and out of your life. And so, you're like, I don't want that. So you, again, place judgment on this person because you said, I don't want to be in a karmic contract. It's like, what you're going to do? You're going to come in here and you're going to breadcrumb me, or you're going to give to somebody else that you're not even with, in hopes that you're going to get back together again, that this person's going to give you another chance. And so where am I? Like, where am I in this equation? So you were like, I don't want this. It's like, regardless of whether the karmic comes back or not, like I said, this person has a lot of issues. And right outright, when it comes to like you saying, this is what I require, they can't do it. They can't do it. So at this point, it's like the spirit says this connection was really for like spiritual insight, okay? More about you understanding your value, okay? Spiritual insight and to know you're valued. It's like part of you is like being with this person. It's like they want to stay connected to someone that isn't valuing them, and in that they're gonna stay connected to you, that and not make you feel valued, keep you on the back burner. So you feel unworthy, and that's what it felt like. That's inner child card one. Inner child card two is shame. Inner child card three is discipline. Ah, shit. I got dancing cards. Okay, confusion four, abandonment five, and outdoors and nature six. So we have to say, why did you attract this person into your life? You're a mirror of who and what comes into your life. Um, and we have to say, well, if you were told that you were bad, shame is that. If you were made to feel unworthy. So emotionally, you were taught that you were bad and mentally, and so psychologically. And so your energy is your thought energy and your emotional energy held in the body as stress, right? So this person like tried to treat you less than, which is kind of like what how you grew up. Again, I say that because look, that energy of belittled and shame is again bad. So you were abandoned. So that was really, really confusing for a child because their parents are supposed to love and nurture them and you show them support. And here it is that you're feeling abandoned and belittled and really that you didn't discipline yourself. You also were not grounded because of it. The trauma. See, this is outdoors in nature, you can't see because it's green, but when we're talking about outdoors in nature, we're talking about the universe. We're talking about being grounded in your body and being grounded in the earth by feeling a part of the earth. That's not what you felt. You also were not a spiritual person. You didn't know you needed healing. And so, because of that trauma of feeling abandoned and not loved and felt like a little bit bullied, because belittled is bullied, you didn't discipline yourself to actually create something. Like when it doesn't mean that you weren't into things. You might have been into dancing or singing or playing soccer or whatever it is, but you need to be really disciplined in order to make your craft, your hobby, or whatever it is that you're going to school for an occupation to make money at it. It's like you have to be consistent. You have to show up for yourself. And if you were in survival because, hey, you didn't know who you were dealing with a bully that belittled you and made you not really feel loved, made you feel as if you were bad and not worthy. So the trauma of that, like I said, pushed you to go inward into the psychic mind because children can't run away. So they're going to detach and disassociate from that trauma in order to survive. So a lot of times ADHD looks like ADHD, but it's not ADHD. It's trauma, is what I meant to say. That a lot of times trauma reflects ADHD, where like the symptoms are the same. Because if you're in survival mode, your pineal gland and your amygdala like swell to the point where you don't really even have a memory after a while. You don't remember. So it looks like ADHD. But again, the two like mirror, and so you're not disciplined. Like it takes a lot of time to create yourself. Look at like a gymnastics person that winds up at the Olympics, and you said, "Oh, when did they start? Oh, at 3, and now they're 25." That's 25 years of every day, every day, every day, every day, and all day. Look at a painter, like someone that's a famous painter. That's all that they did. So if where you put your energy is where it will grow and blossom, the universe does the rest. You have to show up for yourself though. And so you didn't. So Spirit said during this time it was about giving yourself the love that you aren't going to get love from this person that's staying on the back burner for someone else, pretending that their relationship isn't over when it clearly is over, but still wants to hold on to you and put you on their back burner, where you're like, I'm not doing none of that. It's like, and Spirit said, no, this was a test. It was a test because eventually they might go back with that karmic. That karmic might have a fling with them. And like, not really, it would never manifest into anything now, but, you know, they've been back and forth forever. But by the time it gets really bad like this and toxic like this, the karmic, that person that's with the karmic is not going to take them back, but they would have a fling and possibly ruin this karmic's life, like toy with them more. So you don't want to be that buffer because that's exactly what you'd be. You'd be the buffer for them because they're dealing with someone that doesn't really want to be with them, that wants to use them. So they don't have to really think about that, as long as like someone that really does care, that's a good catch, is right there on the back burner. And you said that's a no-go for me. And Spirit said it was a good thing. And so this is all about, this connection was all about to help you do some inner work, to do some shadow work, because God brings you ideal situations for your inner healing. As you become aware of your weaknesses, you can turn them into strengths. You direct your thoughts towards the light and you see the positive side of every stage of your life. Darkness turns into courage and then you get stronger. And so Spirit said this was all about, again, doing the inner work, the spiritual healing that you needed to do, that which was to discipline yourself so that you can become yourself. You know, you're thinking that you're not talented at anything, where Spirit says anything that you do, you have to put time and energy into. Mastery comes in doing. But if you're going to be so like caught up in feeling like you're connected to someone that doesn't want to give you anything and was given to somebody else, it's the same exact energy that you were brought up in, being made to feel like you're unworthy, where really no one can make you feel that way unless you actually feel that way. And Spirit said you did feel that way because you didn't become of yourself. You needed to discipline yourself more in your craft, in your job, in a hobby, in whatever it was, in order to, like I said, make a way where there was no way, to get good, to get confident in your craft so that you can make money, you know, for all those reasons, you know, to get more grounded. Again, what you saw was a block within your root chakra because there was a disconnect from the earth and from nature. And Spirit says that's because there was a disconnect from your father and from your mother, Mother Earth and Father. Well, it's also, you know, your real mother, and not just Father up in heaven, but your father, your ancestral father. And so Spirit says you had a block there. So that again, you had to again to heal that, reparent that, and you do so by creating yourself, by disciplining yourself to do what you need to do in order to make money. That means go take that class, finish that class, get that certification, you know, start that online course, do what you need to do to make money, is what Spirit said. It's like because you're thinking that you're inadequate, you're thinking like there's something wrong with you when there is nothing wrong. You're just not disciplined and you have never been disciplined enough to do it. So you think that it's broken when it's not broken. It's just not developed. All right, Gemini, I'm going to leave that there. You let me know how you resonated with this one, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.